Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I am the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Troy Lett in the house for everything XRP. So if you guys have questions for Troy, please feel free to raise your hand, and at some point I will unmute your mic and you can ask Troy your question. If you can't speak to Troy, there is an XRP logo on the wall. You can write your question underneath the comment area, and I will read them as well at some point in the podcast. Also, too, everybody, I cannot tell you enough. Be careful who you follow. It's crazy. I put Captain Kyle's Truck Talk on the wall. I'll bring it down after the show. If you guys have not watched that, Captain Kyle is spot on about what is going on with the situation with Trump and Xi, so the U.S. and China. We got a lot of people out there flipping the switch, flipping the script on this and putting that fear out there, everybody. Captain Kyle puts it in a layman's terms for people to understand a little bit better. He is spot on. If you guys aren't following him, watching his stuff, please pay attention to Captain Kyle. He is great in his explanation of this and as many things that he talks about. So please, everybody, stay out of that fear mongering, that black pilling. It's out there. I co-hosted a space yesterday with Santino, and Alpha Warrior was in there. A lot of great speakers. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I can't tell you, your mind is a powerful thing. And if you can't handle this, stay out of it. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. Don't listen to it. Turn it off. Just get out of it because it's really bad, everybody. It is really, really bad. Everybody was gung-ho on Trump. Now everybody's, all flipping the script that he's this bad person. No, he's not, everybody. And people need to understand these tariffs. If you don't understand these tariffs, then you need to understand it because the tariffs are going to be an amazing thing for us here in the very near future. For we the people, the USA, everything made in USA. We're going to feel the pinch, everybody, but it's not like we didn't feel it with the Biden regime, right? So we got to do this. We got to take down the old, out with the old, in with the new. So be patient, everybody. We got to let these people, Pam Bondi, Trump, all these people, let them do their jobs and be patient. And I just can't tell you enough. Be careful, everybody. Also, too, everybody, if you come into the show late or you'd like to share the podcast with somebody, please follow the podcast host on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Also, I upload them on the social medias, which are all verified except for TikTok, YouTube's, it's fairly new, and then True Social. And I'm doing this for you guys to know those are my legitimate accounts, all right? So it's Facebook is at Jenny Dreed. No, not at Jenny Dreed, my bad. It's just Jenny Dreed. Twitter is at Jenny_Dreed. We've got True Social at J Dreed, Rumble at J Dreed, Instagram at J Dreed, The Revival of America, YouTube, The Revival of America right here on Telegram, and then at the official J Dreed on TikTok. So go follow the TikTok. Follow all those if you guys aren't. I'm trying to do better and get some updates and stuff over on TikTok, but honestly, I forget about that app. I'm just not on it enough. And also, many of you know I'm in a transition of moving. So as soon as I get my new studio up there, we're going to be taking this baby off for some good stuff. We're going to bring the video part of the podcast into it. Also, to everybody, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please do that at therevivalofamerica.com. It is free. You get the latest updates on the podcast as well as the weekly show lineup with the guests and the times. And then last but certainly not least, everybody, if you have a story or a journey to tell, I get tongue-tied, everybody. Please feel free to reach out to me at therevivalofamerica@yahoo.com. Let me know your story, your journey, and we will get your voices and your story heard on the show. Because remember, everybody, it's your journey, your story that's going to help shape this new world that we are coming into. So with that, everybody, we will wait for Troy to come in. Troy has about an hour. He typically gives us, every time he comes in, hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And then also too, we have 4 shows. I have 4 shows here today, guys. We have this one right now with Troy. And then at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, John Baxter will be here to talk about some exciting news with what he's doing over there with anti-aging medbed. And then back here at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, SG Anon is back. I am so excited to have him here, you guys. It's been a hot second since he's been on with many of us. So please join us for that. I always love having SG on here. He's a wealth of knowledge. the way he speaks and how he articulates everything. He's just an amazing individual. So come back for that at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then last but not least, by any means, we have our wonderful Silk over on my X Space tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want a good laugh, come on over to the Silk Show over on X with me. She's just amazing, and I absolutely adore her. So with that, everybody, we have our special guest and my special friend, Troy Lett, in the house. How are you, my friend?
I've been better, Jenny. I've been under the weather the last couple of days, so I've kind of got a little bit of a cough here. So you guys might have to bear with me here a little bit today.
Oh,
But other than that,
no.
it's one of those kind of congestion. I don't feel sick, just congested and kind of nasty feeling, but I'll get over it here. So yeah, that's my last couple of days. I think I'm on the
Well,
upside of it. I think I'm on the upside of it though.
well, that's good. I hope you feel better. I know it's going around. So get your dandelion drops, get your ivermectin, HCQ, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I've got it all. Yep, I've got it all.
Well, I hope you feel
Got some
better,
cough.
sweetie.
Yep. Anyway, Donald Trump stated that his timeline was Easter, right? So we're coming up
Yes.
for we're 11 days from Easter, and I did a little bit of research yesterday, and in in the Greek language, XP stands for Christ, and you remember Kim Clement talking about if he's seen the X and the P. Well, what if the R stands for resurrect? So maybe on Easter we might see a resurrection of the coin XRP. So we'll just have to wait and see. Other news, though, there's a guy by the name of Lynch. He has stated to Congress that the case against Ripple has been dropped. He just stated that today. And we got Paul Atkins going to hopefully get a vote by 7 o'clock tonight. We might have a new director of the SEC. The other news for Ripple is they bought Hidden Road yesterday for $1.25 billion. And Hidden Road is a prime broker, which they close deals. So they close about $3 trillion worth of deals every year. This is huge. Every time we get good news in the XRP community, XRP drops. So I don't know how much more good news we can stand. Anyway, do we have any questions out there at this time?
So I think I do here in a second. Yes, everybody, we are winning, and no matter how big or small these winnings are taking place, I mean, we are winning, winning, winning. So hang on to those, everybody, because it is exciting times. And yes, Troy, I've been watching the XRP for the last few days. Obviously, we've been seeing the ups and downs. I think we got as low as $1.81. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, a lot of people are anticipating it to drop here significantly any time now. What do you think about that? I know it's going to drop and then skyrocket. We've always talked about that, but can you maybe touch a little bit on that? And then I have another question for you. And then everybody start raising your hands, and I will unmute your mics, and you can ask Troy your question. So go ahead, Troy.
Well, what I see happening, Jenny, right now, Donald Trump's doing exactly what we voted him into office for. He's got tariffs on all these other countries that have been lying and cheating all this time. So I think in the end of this, now I can see XRP maybe dropping a little bit more, but in the end, I believe XRP and RLUSD solves this tariff problem. Right now, I believe the BRICS nations are probably using XRP along with Russia, and other countries are probably using it as well as the United States. But I think what Donald Trump is bringing these other countries to the table to get rid of tariffs and to revalue their currencies. He's always stated that he wanted a level playing field, and that's more than just tariffs. That's they can't deflate their currency like they have been doing in the past. He's going to make them revalue their currency, and that's what we've all been waiting for. That's what we've all went out and bought Vietnam dong for, and Iraqi dinars or Zimbabwe. He's going to make them all revalue their currency. That way we're on a one-to-one, a level playing field. And that's when XRP and RLUSD, and along with all the other countries, they have their stable coin as well. I think they're just sitting in the back waiting for it to release them. Iraq, I think it was this week that they stated that they're going to go digital as well. So I believe they probably already have an RL IQD over in Iraq. So what was your next question, Jenny?
So, well, now I just added another one. since we're talking about Trump, and he is everybody in there doing what we voted him in there to do. So we got to let him do his thing. I tell a lot of people when I'm over on X or here within my audience, people need to understand the tariffs and how they're a good thing, right? A lot of people are complaining and stuff that, he's doing all this stuff. The tariffs aren't good for us. But what I'm trying to say to everybody is understand the tariffs, know that they are going to pinch us here in the interim, but for the long run, it's America first. And that's what Trump is doing. So he's going to bring everything back, made in the USA. And then we, the people, are going to have more money in our pockets than we have ever known what to do with. Can you maybe touch on that for people that are not understanding these tariffs and just are, putting out the narrative that it's a bad thing? It's not a bad thing, everybody. It's a great thing. But go ahead, Troy.
The Secretary of Treasury came out, I think it was today or yesterday, and stated that Donald Trump moved the tariff up on China to 104%. And the reporter said, well, what happens if China retaliates and moves the tariff up higher? And the Secretary of Treasury says, big deal. They don't buy anything from us. So that's the key. There's such a trade deficit that nobody buys from us, but we buy from everybody else. These tariffs only hurt them. They don't hurt us. He's bringing money back to you, the people. So, a little bit of short-term pain for a lot of long-term gain. That's going to happen. Give him a little bit of time. Maybe by Easter, he's got this all figured out. I think he's already got it figured out. He's got 70 or 80 countries already calling him, begging him for a deal. So let him do his magic. He's going to have us way wealthier than we could ever imagine. Did that answer your question, Jenny?
Yes, it did. Thank you, Troy. And yes, you are correct. I believe it's about 70 to 80 countries. So see, everybody, see how this is the switch is flipped. They want to, puff their shoulders to Trump, but when he does these tariffs, they're coming to us. So this is a huge thing, everybody. So be positive about it and hang on to, like I said, hang on to all those big or small, however big or small these wins are, but we are winning, everybody. And then here's my last question for you, everybody. And then we're going to go into questions. So please feel free to raise your hands or write your comment under the XRP logo. The parade that they're talking about on June 14th in Washington, D.C. I know that's Trump's birthday, and I believe it's the 250th anniversary of the Army. I correct me if I'm wrong, but we had the mayor of DC come out, and she was kind of not really sure about it. She had heard about it, but she was saying that the roads of DC couldn't handle the tanks, and then the bridges, that they all had to kind of think about it. And I heard somebody put out there yesterday, and I don't believe this is true, because I think if anybody was to cancel that parade, it would be Donald Trump. But they're saying it has been canceled. What are your thoughts on this parade that they're speaking of here coming in June?
Well, I think Donald Trump's going to get his parade. He's, even in his first term, he talked about a parade. He wanted to have a big parade in Washington. So I think in June, he's going to have his parade. He's going to, that mayor of Washington will probably not be there by the time Donald Trump's done with him. So I believe he's going to get his parade this time.
And I think he should. So that's awesome. Okay. All right, everybody. So I'm going to start calling on you. Rick, I have unmuted your mic. Go ahead and ask Troy your question. Go ahead, Rick. Your mic is unmuted. Okay. All right, Troy, let me read some here. Okay. So Doug says, thanks, Troy, for your valuable information. I have purchased some crypto on the Uphold exchange. It is safe to leave it there, or should I move it to a cold storage wallet? If so, which one would you recommend? Thank you.
Well, you guys know I'm a big fan of Uphold. So everything that I've ever bought from Uphold, I still have it on Uphold. They've done everything that they said they would do for me and way more. They wrap my flare every month, so I get my benefits. They've dropped about 5 different coins in my wallet that I never knew I should have gotten. So yeah, I'm a big fan. If you're a little bit scared of leaving your money on an exchange, and I understand that, they also have what's called a vault, and they made it kind of user friendly, because the fear everybody has is when you move your tokens onto, let's just say, a Ledger X, you are now responsible for those tokens. If you lose that Ledger X, they could be gone. If you lose your seed words or phrase words or your numbers that they give you, each wallet does it a little bit different. But if you lose those, it's like walking into the bank and asking for all your money. You put it in your wallet, you walk out the bank and you lose your wallet, it's gone. The bank has no responsibility for it. Now on Uphold, I've had some people, state that, hey, Uphold shut my account down. Well, yeah, they did, because it was getting tampered with. And in about 2 weeks, they had their accounts back open. I had one gal lose her phone, and she had a two-step authenticator on it, and she couldn't get back into her account. And Uphold helped her get back into her account. It took a little bit of time, but they helped her get back into her account. They got pretty good customer service, but they have what's called a vault over there as well. And you can put your money in, put your tokens in that vault, and they give you 2 sets of keys, and they keep 1 set of keys in case you lose yours. That way, they can help you get back into the vault. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I have what's called an EliPal Titan. And the reason I bought an EliPal Titan is because I got a bad taste in my mouth from Coinbase. I won't go into that right now, but I decided I didn't want to have any more tokens on Coinbase. So I bought an EliPal. Bought mine on sale. It was $119. I think they're about $180 now. But I moved all of my tokens off of Coinbase onto my EliPal. And the reason I bought an EliPal is it's pretty much hack proof. When the hacks always come in, it's when you hook to the internet is when you generally get hacked. An EliPal does not hook to the internet. The way it works is you generate a cold wallet on your phone, and you can see all your stuff on your phone. But in order to do anything, you have to have this EliPal. It generates a QR code that you have to take a picture of it. So you have to have the EliPal to move your tokens. So, if somebody was to steal my phone, they couldn't get my tokens. Now, the EliPal is also, if somebody was to try to break into my EliPal, someone got into a ledger or one of these wallets and was able to manipulate the wallet in a way that they could get the tokens off of it without having the seed words. EliPal, if you try to break into this wallet, it doesn't blow up, but it ruins all the information on it, so there's no information on it. Did that answer your question, I think?
Yes, I believe it did. All right. Thank you, Doug, for your question. Okay. Adrian B says, Troy, can you comment on a buyback possibility at the RV appointment for XRP? Is that a thing?
I'm not going to say it's not a thing. They might ask you if you want to sell your XRP back to them, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be mandatory. The thing I see happening, the way they're going to get all the XRP back, is when you want to increase your not increase your life, but better your life. You're going to want to sell a little bit of that XRP to buy a bigger house, or maybe buy a car or a boat or something along those lines. So you're going to end up selling a little bit of that XRP to do that. Right now, we've got about 17 or 18 big companies that are in the waiting of ETF. So when they get approved, which I think is going to be very soon, when Paul Atkins gets the head of the SEC, I think he'll start approving them right off the bat. But Brad Kimes kind of said, it's kind of like a malt. You have one malt, and you got 18 straws in it. And when they're released, that malt's not going to last very long. They're going to suck all the XRP right out of the open market. See, right now, Judge Torres has stated that any institution, Walmart, Amazon, any one of those companies that want to own XRP, they have to buy it just like we do. They have to go to the exchange like Uphold or Coinbase or wherever, and they have to buy their coins off of those exchanges as well. Now, keep in mind, Ripple has not sold any XRP to the exchanges since 2019. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. They've got their escrow account that they keep. But what was I saying? Anyway, I think eventually all of the XRP will be gone off of the open market, and then you'll be left with the bag that you're holding right now, or when you buy it's maybe some tomorrow, but you won't be able to buy any more of it, I don't believe. So yeah, you'll end up probably selling a little bit of it to better your life, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you'll probably be able to stake it at some point and earn a passive income off it, where you're loaning it to banks or institutions to use. Hopefully that answered this question.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, I'm going to call. So Melinda Wright, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning. Jenny, thank you so much for you and your team. Troy, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks so much for all your help. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, so Troy, I've got 3 quick questions. I promise to be very quick. Okay, so what we're saying is that the wallet and Uphold is the equivalent, the exchange is the equivalent of the wallet when you're talking about Uphold, correct? You feel comfortable leaving your money right there.
Yes. When I buy
Okay.
my XRP, they put it right there on the exchange. That's where I've left mine for 6 years or so. So
So
yeah,
if it spins into $1 million, you're still going to be comfortable leaving it there. The reason I ask is I've got some money on that wallet, and I also have some in the vault, and I do have the passphrases.
yeah, I think I'm going to be very comfortable. I think Uphold will eventually become uh, the equivalent. It probably won't be called a bank, but it'll be the equivalent of a bank. So right now, if you hold USD on Uphold, anything over $1,000, they're paying you just below 5% interest annually, and also it is FDIC insured up to $2.5 million. You don't get that at no bank. So and if you hold RLUSD on Uphold, they pay you just shy of 5% a year as well. I don't know that that's insured, FDIC insured, but I think it eventually will be FDIC insured. So I can see Uphold becoming, maybe we won't call it a bank, a financial institute of some sort, but yeah, I think so.
So you're saying the wallet is FDIC insured right now? Wallet / exchange on Uphold is FDIC insured right now?
I'm saying it's if you hold USD, not a
Oh, got it.
XRP,
Okay,
or
okay. Gotcha,
if you
gotcha.
if you hold it, so you got your money in a savings account, making very little, if any. If you had it on Uphold in the USD, which is the US dollar, they're
Got it.
paying you
Yeah,
5%. And yeah,
gotcha,
okay.
gotcha. Gotcha. I'm all over that. And then just finally, the vault. One more thing. It's my understanding you can stake now. I'm just looking at it and I'll dig into it if you don't know for sure, but they're advertising staking now on Uphold.
They are, and they have about 19 coins that you can stake on Uphold. And XRP
Okay.
is not one of XRP is
Is
not
not
one
one
of
of
them
them.
though.
Okay.
No.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. Thank you for your help. Have a nice day.
You bet.
Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for your questions. Okay, Jack, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Troy your question.
Hey, Troy, thanks so much. I've got an Uphold account, and I had a question for him that I didn't feel like got answered very well. I'm new, but I had 982 XDCs, and then I looked a few weeks later, and it was 929. And I thought, well, the actual amount of coins should never change, and I put in a ticket, and they tried to tell me that it's gonna go up and down. And I kept all of the tickets and replies, but it just didn't answer the question that I had. I should still have 982 tokens, even if the rate goes up and down, correct?
Yes. You have two numbers there when you're looking at that. You have one number that is the dollar amount that you hold in XDC, and then the other number you have is how many tokens you have. And the
Yes.
one that fluctuates is the dollar amount. So
Yes,
that
but not the
yep.
token amount. And then they asked me, well, do you have a picture to prove that you had 982? And I don't. But
I'm
now it's
sorry.
at
I don't know.
900.
I don't know what to tell you on that. I've never heard of that before, but
Okay.
I don't know how to get to the bottom of that one. Sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Okay, Mimi Warrior, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and ask Troy your question.
Hi, everyone. First, Jenny, thank you for all you do. I listen to all your podcasts that I can, and also on X Spaces. You are a busy gal.
Thank you, Mimi.
And also, Troy, thank you for all you do. I have two questions. First one is, and may seem I'm overthinking, but when the RV takes place and when we go gold back with the U.S. note, will we revalue as a currency? And if so, any thoughts on that? And the other one is just, what do you look for Bitcoin to happen?
Well, I kind of see Bitcoin, if it wants to survive, it will start running on the XRP ledger, which Chris Larson has stated that they would help him do that if that ever came to, Bitcoin wanted to do that, they would help him do that. I think eventually what's going to happen, I think we're going to find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is here pretty quick. And I think when that happens, the wheels might fall off of Bitcoin. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. What was your other question? Sorry.
When we redo the RV, or when we go to gold back currency with the U.S. in the United States note, will the U.S. dollar revalue? Will we get compared? I know we're going to go 1-to-1 with the dong and the dinar. What's it going to be based off of 1-to-1?
Well, it's going to be based off of treasuries and commodities, and we're already seeing that right now with RLUSD. There's another token out there called Tether USDT, which they do not have an audit. They've never had an audit. Currently, their market cap is way up there. I don't know what it is right today, but it's way up there. I think you're going to see RLUSD take over that USDT pretty soon. I think once there's two stable bills going through Congress right now, and once they get passed, I think you're going to see this RLUSD really take off. And that's where our value is going to be. I don't think, I've seen some stuff on what's called rainbow currencies, and I think there is going to be a different currency that we print, and we're going to have cash. It's not going to be the greenbacks you hold in your pocket right now. I think that was the old satanic system that they had right there. I think we're going to have, like I said, brand new. I'll call them rainbow currencies, but that might not be what they're called. And I think those are coming soon as well. But right now, everything will be backed. Right now, the greenback is not. It's worthless. So right now, Ripple or RLUSD is backed by Treasury notes. So they're audited every month. You can see what they have, what they hold to back up their RLUSD. So I think that's coming to cash as well. I think it'll happen pretty soon. Hopefully did that answer your question?
It does. May I ask one more?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
Okay, so with the XRP, and from what I've tried to understand, the RLUSD will work to help us maneuver that through the system when everything goes to where we're going.
Yes, I believe one day when you're working, and David Schwartz just came out and said this here a week or so ago. I've been saying it for quite a while. RLUSD is a stable coin. So it's meant to be $1 today. It's meant to be $1 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's not something you're going to get rich on. It shouldn't fluctuate up and down. If you hold $1, it'll be worth $1. So when you're working and you work for $25 an hour and you get paid right now biweekly or weekly or monthly, I don't know how you get paid, but wouldn't it be nice if you were working and every hour that you worked, you got paid? And think about that. You got a really hard one day every month that you have to either pay your mortgage or you have to pay your rent. What would happen if you paid that hourly and just come off your phone? You knew immediately how much money you had. You're streaming it right off of your phone. If your rent's $1,200 a month, every hour you pay X amount of dollars for. I don't have a calculator here. I can't do the math on it. So you get the gist of it. But everything's backed by RLUSD, and that's what's going to happen is you're going to get paid in RLUSD if you so choose. You might choose cash, and that might have to be a biweekly deal. So with this new system coming in, it's going to change everything, and that's what David Schwartz is telling us. Years ago, we couldn't imagine the internet, emails, texting, cell phones. Think about this is roughly a 200-year-old system that we're trying to fix. The banking system is corrupt as hell, and RLUSD and XRP and the ledger take all of that out. Once everything is running on the XRP ledger, XRP is going to be extremely valuable. David Schwartz has basically stated that, someday, that's not tomorrow, it could be worth as much as $1 million a piece. Now, that might be, 50 years from now. But everything is going to be tokenized and running on the XRP ledger. And it makes it transparent, and it takes all the 99% of the criminality out of everything. You look at the stock market. I use GameStop as a good example. During COVID, these hedge funds knew GameStop was going to go under and AMC was going to go under because nobody could go to the GameStops. Nobody could go to the theater. So they shorted it real heavily. Well, currently, there's about 270% of the stock there's about 50 million stocks, and there's 270 million out there. So once this thing starts to squeeze, where are they going to get their money? Or where are they going to get their stocks at? There's only 50 million of them. They need 270 million of them. See, this is what XRP and RLUSD will take out of the stock market. It won't allow that. You won't be able to sell stocks you don't have, and that's what the naked shorting is. And that's just damn near ready to blow up. I don't know if you guys follow that at all, but GMC is the CEO his name is Ryan Cohen, and he had about 8 million shares of GameStop. Just the other day, he bought another 500,000 shares of GameStop, over $10 million. So he knows something's coming. It's getting ready to short squeeze, and these hedge funds are scared to death. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit about how I think things are going to be backed up and how things are going to get paid out.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. And I look forward to continuing to learn. I'm 63 and very, very fascinated with how we're going to move into this new financial system, and also knowing that we will be the ones teaching those that don't know, because my family are part of those ones that don't know. So thank you.
Thank you, Mimi Warrior, for being here. All right, Miss Rebel Blondie, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead and show your question.
All right, thank you. So 2 quick questions. One is crypto.com. What are your thoughts on keeping coins on there?
I think crypto.com, I've done a little bit of research on it, not a lot, but I think it's a good company as well, yes.
Agreed. Okay, cool. 2, foreign currencies. I heard that as far as exchanging, there are particular years. For instance, Zimbabwe, it has to be pre-2008. Are there years that will be accepted for the dong? And if so, do we need to look at the dong and the years? What say you?
I do have foreign currencies, but I don't get into them like I do XRP. So I'm not up to speed on the years and the dates on the dollar, on the dongs and the Iraqi dinars. Sorry, I couldn't help you on that.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it and everything you all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebel Blondie. And that question would be a Dallas question, and he's going to be on next week. And I want to say it's like 2020 and 2021, but don't quote me on that. Come back next Wednesday. He'll be on here.
2020 and 2021 as far as the dong?
Oh, no, not for the dong. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Venezuela, but the bolivar. So my bad.
Oh, the bolivar.
Yeah.
2020 and 2021.
I'd have to go look at my my currency, but yeah, that's definitely a Dallas question. So I definitely come back here for him on Wednesday of next week.
Will do. Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Okay, I have a question for you right here. And everybody, please, if you have a question for Troy, he's here. He's here. We're trying to get him on every 2 weeks, depending on obviously his work schedule. But raise your hand, and I will unmute your mic or write your question on the wall. Here's one for you, Troy, from Beamer Girl. She wants to know what stake means on Uphold.
Staking means you're loaning your coin out, and you're going to own or earn a possibly a passive income on that loaning it. So there's only a few coins that you can stake on Uphold right now. I think there's 19 of them. XRP and XLM are not. I don't believe you can stake XLM at this point in time, but those are coming. And the reason I don't stake anything right now, it's kind of brand new. I want the bugs to get work out of it first, because there is a potential that you could lose some money on that as well. Hopefully that answers the question. And Jenny, I just wanted to state one other thing to the people here today.
Yeah.
This is really not about cashing in your savings accounts or your retirement accounts or anything like that. It's about getting in the door. Some people only have $15 or $20 to spend. That's enough. That's enough to get started. So don't sell yourself short and say, well, I don't have any money. You can always, if you have money to eat, you have money to buy some crypto. And it may be for the long haul, like David Swartz said. Someday it could be $1 million. And today, if you bought XRP, you could buy one for $1.83. So that'd be a pretty damn good investment if it went to $100,000, that'd be a damn good investment. Or $10,000. Arthur Brito has stated that XRP really doesn't work under $10,000. So a minimum of $10,000 is when it starts really working. And what a lot of people don't understand is these banks and institutions don't care what XRP costs. It's so efficient that they can move money overseas. And this is what it's used for. They're moving large sums of money. Now think about this. If XRP was $1 million, and let's just say JP Morgan wanted to send $50 million to China. If they did it today and they had to go through the SWIFT system, they would take that money and it would go through the SWIFT system, which would take 5 or 6 days for that money to move. And it would cost them 3 to 6% of that money. That's a lot. That's a big ticket number. And it would take 4 or 5 days to move it. Every time it hits a different bank, that bank earns interest. JP Morgan doesn't earn it. They're sending it, so they're not earning it. Anyway, now let's just say XRP is $1 million and they want to move 50 million. They buy 50 XRP. They hold it for 3 seconds. They send it over to China. China converts it into yen, and it costs JP Morgan 30 cents to do that. Anybody in their right mind that had $50 million to move would move it with XRP. They wouldn't go through the SWIFT system, because there's a chance that even in the SWIFT system that some of that money will get lost or stolen along the way. It doesn't happen on the XRP ledger. So, like I said, it doesn't take a lot. And if you're a little bit confused on the wallets, maybe the Uphold, there's a lot of pushing and pulling out there of which way to go. Probably one of the simplest ways to do that, if you want to own a little bit of XRP or XLM or whatever you want to own, was to give, and I'm not a spokesman for these people. I don't get paid a dime on Uphold's never paid me a dime, and iTrust Capital has never paid me a dime. I was going to invest in iTrust Capital as far as XRP is concerned back in the day, but there was a fee of like $30 a month. And I thought, well, that's not going to be an option for me. They have since lifted that fee. There is no fee now that you could invest in iTrust Capital. It's basically a retirement account type setup. So they custody everything for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. So sometimes that might be the easy route for people. And I just wanted to say that, like I said, this is not it is for the rich people, but it's for you too. So just try to get what I always say is, if you have trouble sleeping at night, you've probably got too much invested in XRP or whatever coin don't do that. Sleep well at night. So I just wanted to throw that out there, Jenny.
Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. All right, Papa from Texas, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes, great information, Troy. I really appreciate your knowledge about this. May I ask, what do you think about the Tangem cold wallet? Tangem.
I think I haven't done a lot of research on it, but I think it's a good one. Yep.
Okay, great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Papa. All right, Patty. Miss Patty, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Troy. I just wanted to say, anybody that's on this call that's not familiar with Troy, if you're new, whatever, you're very fortunate to be able to speak with him one-on-one, because he does know exactly what he's doing when it comes to XRP. So I just want to give that little tidbit. Troy, of course, in the beginning, we paid pennies on the dollar for XRP. And with it fluctuating a little bit back and forth right now, you can just see it fluctuating. When this crash happens, partial crash, whatever we're going to see, when that goes down and it's like maybe a freeze or whatever it's going to do, what do you think it'll pop back up to? Like if we're going to show somebody how to get involved or help them get a wallet started or whatever, people that haven't been paying attention. I mean, what do you think it'll be at that time? $10, $15 or something like that?
Well, I think when these ETFs get released, like I said, there's 18 of them. BlackRock is probably going to step in here any day now. So once that happens, you're going to see a frenzy of buying XRP. And I think they're going to buy most of it up off the market at that time. So yeah, I could see XRP doing a flip the switch moment, like an overnight from, what are we at, $1.80 to $10. And even at, let's just say it crashes. Let's say it crashes to 50 cents. And you're all excited, you want to buy it. You might not be able to buy it at 50 cents because at that time, that's when probably the big hedge funds are going to be buying it. And what happens is sometimes these places where you buy it, they crash. The volume gets so high that their bandwidth is not high enough that it crashes their servers. So you might see it at 50 cents, but you can't buy it at 50 cents. And the next thing you know, you're trying to buy it at $5 and $7 and then $10, and you still can't buy it because they know what it's worth. So when they come in, it's going to be like a shark feast, I think. That's my personal opinion. And like I said, they might drop the price of it just so the hedge funds can get in at a better floor price.
Okay, so it'll be saturated so fast you won't even be able to plug in to get it, even if you have a buy order standby, you think?
Your buy order might be good, but I wouldn't count on it. So right now, my theory is I know it's going to go up. It's maybe 5 years. Maybe it takes 5 years to go, and it might be $10. I'm never going to lose my money because I have no intention on selling it. So if you're one of those buyers, what really difference does it make whether you're buying it $1.53 or $1.83? I say anything under $2 is a pretty good buy right now. Hopefully that
Okay.
answered your question. Yep.
Yeah, of course it did. And I just wanted people to be able to, to get some, just some, I can't even think of the words, some, because we bought it so low for so many years ago that if we still want to help people, there's time. Don't think that you can't help people get into this, guys, now while it is still under $2. So I appreciate it, Troy, but it at least gives everybody some perspective on what's going on. So I appreciate you and have for, I don't know, 6 years now. Thanks.
What most people don't realize, you're on this channel and you're hearing about XRP. 99% of the people in the world have no idea even what XRP is. They will very soon. They'll know what XRP is. But if you own XRP right now, if you have one of them, you're in the 1% of people that own XRP on the planet. That's a pretty good number. So we are at the ground floor. If you walk into probably one of your grocery stores, you can probably ask 100 people in there what XRP is, and I bet 99 of them don't know what it is. They know what Bitcoin is. They damn sure know what Bitcoin is, but they don't know what XRP is and what it does. So my feeling is we are some of the luckiest people on the planet to even know about this and know the ties behind Ripple. And Rosie Rio sits on the board. She was the treasurer for the United States. Chances are, if you pull a $1 bill or a $20 bill or a $50 bill out of your pocket, her name's on it. One of the head people at BlackRock, I can't think of his name right now. I think it's Mitchnick, maybe. Anyway, he's the head of BlackRock's digital asset. He came from Ripple. So this has been in the making for a long time. And the players that are in position, most of them came from Ripple or are working for Ripple now.
Thank you, Troy.
This is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Troy. All right. Here's a question from Frankly Speaking on the wall. Troy says, question, is it safe to hold tokens on Uphold?
I hold all of mine, not all of mine. I've got some of them on an LEPAL, like I said earlier. But yeah, I hold my stuff on Uphold. Some people don't like it, and I understand that. It's kind of how you feel about it. So if you don't feel comfortable on Uphold, by all means, go buy a LEPAL Titan or Examine Wallet. The Examine Wallet, XAMAN, is a free wallet that you can get on your phone. I believe Ripple actually helped design this wallet, so it's a good wallet as well. It's just kind of your comfort level. It's where you're at. When I first got into this, everybody said, not your keys, not your crypto. Everybody you listen to on YouTube was saying, oh yeah, get your crypto off exchanges. The exchange could go down or it could go broke or whatever. Anyway, you got to find a good exchange. And I found it in Uphold. They're transparent. They do audits on themselves. You can go see what they own. But these influencers that I was listening to on YouTube, when they found out there was a back door in Ledger X, they found out that if they wanted to, they could get into that wallet. All these influencers, what did they do? They went and put all their XRP back on Uphold. And one of the influencers I listened to quite a bit just last week came out and stated he does not self-custody his tokens anymore. Now, he didn't say where he held them at, but I know at one time he was one of the ones that moved it back to Uphold. So I don't know that his stuff is still on Uphold, but he said he does not self-custody anymore. So hopefully that answers some questions.
Wow. Thank you, Troy, for that. Thank you. All right, Miss Sylvia, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hello, good
Hi.
afternoon. Troy, what do you know about that XRP EFT went live yesterday through a holding company, Ethereum? I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but supposedly went live yesterday, the first time here in the United States.
Yes, it went live on New York Stock Exchange yesterday, the first ETF. And and the reason I probably wouldn't invest in that right now is it's double leveraged, which means it's highly volatile. So if you have $100, they leverage it to 200. So you could get margin call pretty quick on that. Years ago, I would have probably said this is probably not a bad deal because XRP stuck around 47 cents for almost 2 years and it fluctuated up to 50 cents. So there wasn't a lot of fluctuation in that. So today, it's not like that. Just a couple of days ago, we were at 250. Now we're at $1.83 or something like that. So we've lost, 30 cents in value. That when you're trying times it at times two can get very expensive. So I choose to hold my coins. It's kind of like buying silver on a exchange. You don't hold the silver. I like to hold mine. So I own the coins that I have, and that I own them on Uphold, and I own them on my LA Pal Titan as well. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, anybody else? If you have a question, please raise your hand. I will unmute your mic, or you may write your question on the wall. Troy, I have a question here for you real quickly as we wait for some hands or comments. I just had a brain fart. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. I got an email that came through. But can you kind of talk a little bit about the XRP and how, we're going to in the future be, not XRP, well, yeah, XRP, Uphold and all that stuff. We're going to be using that as peer-to-peer. And we're trying to, what we're doing within this new financial world, right? We're basically eliminating the middle person. Can you kind of touch on that a little bit and how maybe, in your opinion, you think that may transpire?
Yeah, right now there's a way you can pay people. It's called Vimeo, and the way it works is you say you go to a flea market and they have a QR sign there that you can snap, and it'll tell you that you've paid the vendor $6 or whatever that is. Well, and they give you the goods because they know the money's coming, but they don't have the money yet. It takes about 5 days for them to get their money, 4 or 5 days on Vimeo to get your money actually put into the bank. Now with XRP, that's going to be different because it's instant settlement. If you write somebody a check and the check has to go back to the bank and be cleared by the bank, that takes time. XRP doesn't work that way. It's real-time payment. It takes 3 to 5 seconds to get paid, and it's real money. So if I wanted to send Jenny right now, if I want to send Jenny $20, I could get her email and type it into Uphold and send her $20 in 3 seconds. And it's real money. She don't have to wait on it. So I think in the future, when you go to these flea markets or car lots or wherever you go and you want to spend money, that they're going to have a QR code there, and you're not going to have to go to the bank and do all the banking stuff. You'll be the bank. So you'll have your own money and you won't need to go to the bank. I think eventually you'll see a lot of these banks go away because all they are is a bunch of criminals. People don't understand that reserve currency, or not the reserve currency, but the fractional lending that they do. If you carry in $1,000 and put it into your savings account, now the bank can loan $10,000 on that $1,000 that you have put into the bank. That's how they make their money. So they've got a loan for $10,000 out on your car, and you have $1,000 in the bank. You're paying them for that car payment. So that takes all this criminality out of it. XRP and RLUSD, you'll be the bank, and hopefully that answers your question a little bit.
Yep. Thank you, Troy. All right. Tom A., your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
What do you think about Coinbase? Is it secure to hold the XRP there?
Well, I'll give you the short version of why I don't like Coinbase. And I'm not saying it's not safe to keep your coins on Coinbase. Years ago in 2020, all the exchanges took a snapshot of your account. And when they did that, they said, okay, we're going to, in the future, there's a coin coming out, and it's going to be a Spark token. It's now called Flare. We're going to honor their commitment, and we're going to drop that flare into your account when it is done. So Hugo Philbin along the way created Flare. He wanted to create another token. It's called Songbird. And that was a test network for the Flare network. Anything that was going to be on the Flare network would first be tested on Songbird. And then once it proved reliable, it would be moved over to the Flare network. So all these other exchanges, Uphold, they went ahead and dropped my Songbird into my account. And think about what these exchanges have. They had a ton of Songbird. They had a ton of Flare. Now, Coinbase didn't drop the Songbird into my account like Uphold did. They kept it. And the next day, Brian Armstrong went out and bought a brand new $133 million house in Los Angeles. I wonder where he got that money. That was from all the people probably that had Songbird on Coinbase. If you don't know, Brian Armstrong is the CEO of Coinbase. And that's what really made me mad. So that's why I got away from Coinbase, took all my money off of Coinbase. Uphold has dropped five different tokens into my account. Coinbase, however, has not dropped anything into my account other than the Flare that they said they would drop. So I didn't think that was fair because I'm the one that owned XRP on Coinbase at that time. So any rewards that came from that should have came to me. That's the way I feel about it.
Can you transfer Coinbase to another wallet?
You know, as a matter of fact, you can. I took all of my, I had Flare on there. When they dropped my Flare network onto Coinbase, I moved all of my Flare over to Uphold. And probably the easiest way to do that is get onto YouTube and type in Coinbase to Uphold, and they'll show you how to transfer coins from Coinbase over to Uphold. So I did that with all of my Flare. I moved all of my XRP onto what's called an LEPAL Titan from Coinbase. That was before my Flare had dropped. So yeah, you can move it from wherever you want to wherever you want to.
Thank you. Does Uphold charge?
There is a fee. I don't know. I don't think it's too expensive. But keep in mind, that's how Uphold makes their money. They don't steal your coins like other exchanges do.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, Blue Fact, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hey, Troy, how you doing today, brother?
And yourself?
Good, thank you. Listen, just wanted to talk about the Hidden Road partnership. We always talk about price, wallets, and this and that. I'd love to talk about some of the things that Ripple is doing in regards to why it's going to be the value that it will be. Like I said, the Hidden Road purchase yesterday, the biggest crypto purchase ever. What crypto or Hidden Road is and their abilities. Could you tell us a little bit more about what XRP, some of the 15 banks that are, around the world, kind of show us some of the value and why the value will increase than just saying this is the token of the future. Thanks, Troy. As always, brother.
You bet. Well, Hidden Road was a huge purchase yesterday by Ripple. It's a prime brokerage firm, and like I said before, they settle transactions. Now, they settle 3 trillion transactions a year. That's a lot. And if all that runs on the XRP ledger, who knows what XRP is going to be worth? It's going to be worth a lot. Ripple has, in the last 2 years, acquired a company called Medico. And Medico is a unit that stores, I can't think of the word I want to use. It stores your crypto on it. And God dang, can't think of the other company. It'll come to me. Sorry, I'm having a brain freeze here today with this cold going on. But Hidden Road was a big purchase, and it's going to be very valuable. Like I said before, every time we seem to get good news, XRP drops 30 cents. So I don't know how much more good news we can get. Standard Custody is the other company they bought in the last 2 years, and that's another place where you can store your cryptocurrencies at. So they're acquiring companies right now, and it's only going to get bigger. And I think they're going to be some big acquirement. They're going to be purchasing some big companies here in the future as well. Hopefully that answers your question a little bit.
Oh yeah, and Troy, wouldn't you agree that that with this tariff war that's starting to happen, obviously with China mostly. Isn't something like Ripple would be perfect for the solution to this tariff or trade solutions throughout the world?
You know what? Donald Trump says it best. We're in a storm. We're in the perfect storm right now, and you hit the nail on the head. XRP and RLUSD is going to bring us out of the storm.
Woohoo!
Amen, brother. Thanks, Troy.
Thank you,
You
Blue.
bet. Thanks for the question.
All right, GW, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead, GW. Push the blue button in the middle of your screen. Okay, Patriot Foot, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Well, hello there, and thank you. So I've
Of
got three
course.
questions.
Go ahead.
So I'll try to be quick. So you said you owned your coins on Uphold. How do we do that? Number one. How do we get them to drop coins in our wallet? What do we need to do? And number three, staking the coins that are staked. How do we find them? And Troy, thank you so much. And Jenny, thank you.
Thank you, Patriot Foot.
Well, your first question is, how do you buy them? What I do when I began,
How do you get them to hold? I've bought on there, but you said you own them. I'm sorry. How do you own them?
oh no, I mean they're on the exchange just like yours. They're mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry.
What was your second question?
How do you get them to drop coins in your wallet? Because you said they drop some in yours.
Well, so anyway, this leads back to December the 12th of 2020. If you didn't have any coins December 12th of 2020, you won't get any coins dropped into your account.
Okay.
So what happened is all these exchanges, not all of them, most of them took a snapshot of your account. And if you had XRP in an account on that day before 6 o'clock UTI time, they said, okay, we're going to in the future, we're going to drop a Spark token into your account. And off of that snapshot, they have generated 4 or 5 different coins that they've dropped into people's wallets. So I'm not saying they won't drop another drop of coin in your wallet, but right now, all the drops that I've received, it was because of that snapshot that I held XRP. And it wasn't for Bitcoin, it wasn't for XLM. You had to have XRP in that account at that time of the snapshot. And that's what they based your rewards off of. Did that answer your question?
Yes. And the third one was staking. How do we find them on Uphold? Are they kind of labeled?
Yeah, on Uphold, if you go to that center bar, I think it has a place in there where you can tap on it and it'll take you to the coins that you can stake. And right now, I think there's like 19 of them that they stake. XRP is not one of them though.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Patriot Foot.
You guys
All
have a
right.
good day.
You too. Thank you. All right, Christine, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
How do I unmute my mic, or is it?
Yeah, it's unmuted. We can hear you.
Okay, where can I purchase the XRPs? I'm very illiterate on the computer, and I'm 74 years old.
Well, what you have to do, either get on your computer or your phone, and you go to the App Store, and you can download the app. You can go download the app Uphold, and then once you get that downloaded, they're going to ask you to set up an account. And this is where people sometimes get freaked out because they have to do something called know your customer. They have to know who you are, and in doing so, they ask you for a selfie of yourself. You got to take a picture of yourself and send it to them. You have to take a picture of both sides of your driver's license and send it to them. Then what I did is they ask you how you're going to fund your account, which I went down and I started a brand new checking account because I was scared to death at the time. And they asked me to take a picture of my statement from my checking account, and that gave the number and everything that was on my account, which made me very nervous. And I got to thinking, if I walk into a bank account, they're just not going to open an account up. They need to know all of my information. So same with Uphold or Coinbase or any of these other companies that are legit. They have to know their customer. And it's basically for your safety as well as theirs. So if you lose your account, They have a picture of you. They have a picture of your driver's license. They can help you set your account back up. Then once you get all of that set up, an Uphold will get you verified. You know, sometimes on the weekends it takes a couple of days. If you do it during the week, when they're open, they get you verified fairly quickly. Once you're verified, then you can start purchasing XRP on Uphold. And it's just a matter of going to source. Your source would be your bank account, how you want to fund it. And I think it's destination, and you hit on that, and it drops down. Cryptocurrency. You go to cryptocurrency, you look up XRP, you tap on XRP, you type in the amount that you want to buy, you hit send, and then it's just kind of self-explanatory after that. And like I said, if you're a little uncomfortable, get on YouTube and just ask YouTube how I can purchase, or how to set up an Uphold account, and then how to purchase on Uphold. It'll give you all those very good videos on, and it shows you what buttons to push. It's a lot better than me trying to explain it over the phone, and you're not having it right up in front of you. So if you have a computer and a phone, you can type it on your computer and use your phone to look right at it. So hopefully that helps.
Does your driver's license have to be current, or can it be one sent through the mail? I have not a recent picture on my new driver's license. It's just renewed through the mail.
Oh, I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
probably use the picture that they already have there, the DMV. So if you already have a picture on your old one, that's probably the one they'll use.
Okay, does it matter how much you invest, and what do you use for money in between?
Well, I don't know what do you use for money in between. I don't get that.
Well, if you're investing in XRP, do you still have money to spend?
Well,
So,
yeah, you don't
Go
want to
ahead,
spend
Troy.
you don't want to spend all of your money on XRP. You just want to get started. It's kind of an investment. You wouldn't want to throw all of your money in the stock market. You got to be able to eat. So what I do is I just invest a little bit at a time. I don't. I've been investing for 7 years now, so I've got a pretty big bag of XRP. But it's taken me 7 years to get it. I didn't just run out and cash in my savings account and my retirement account, all that good stuff to get into XRP. You know, start small. It's not a sure bet. Maybe it goes, maybe it crashes. Something happens and it crashes. So be mindful that when you're investing in this, if you're not sleeping well at night, then this probably isn't for you, because it's very volatile. It goes up and down very fast. So if you put $100 in it today, you might wake up tomorrow and have $50. And then the next day you might wake up, you might have 300. So you've got to be kind of in this for the long haul. Yeah, you don't want to spend all of your money. Don't throw all of your money into Uphold or XRP. Hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you. All right, Melinda Wright, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Hey, just one other quick question, Troy. So when you say self-custody, an example of what is not self-custody is if you've got your money in the Uphold wallet or in the Uphold vault. That is an example of something that is not self-custody, correct?
Well, if you have them on the exchange, that would be considered not self-custody. If you have them in the vault, that would be self-custody. My tokens on the LEPAL Titan are self-custody. So
Okay.
yeah, hopefully that makes
Got it.
sense.
Thank you.
Thank you,
bet.
Melinda. All right, Cindy Giordano, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead. I think I said that right. If not, I apologize in advance. Go ahead, Cindy. Your mic is unmuted. Push the little blue button.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much. You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm not sure if you already talked about this, but I want to know if Trezor is a good cold wallet.
I've heard of Trezor. I think it probably is a good wallet. Most of the cold wallets are good wallets. I'm not saying they can't be hacked. Just like Ledger, everybody was promoting the Ledger, and they still are. And I think it's a good wallet. But the CEO of Ledger came out and stated that if they had to get in your wallet, he could do it. So
Oh,
I don't know the ins and outs of a lot of those wallets. And that was just recently found out. So Ledger's been around for a long time, and they just found out within the last year or so that they could get into it if they wanted to. Now
okay. All right.
with
Yeah, because
with the
I recently purchased it and I downloaded off of Robinhood onto the Trezor, and I'm hoping that was a good move.
yeah, I think that's a good move. I mean, you've got your coins now, so just don't lose your password or your phrase words in there, so you can get back
Right.
onto it if you ever lost it.
Right. Okay, I feel better now. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the question.
Cindy. All right,
Okay.
Troy. I have a couple here on the wall, Troy, for you. Okay, so Dawn, she says, sorry, just coming in. Is a Ledger wallet safe or not safe?
I think a Ledger wallet is safe. However, if Ledger, the government came to the Ledger and said, "Hey, we need to get into Jenny's wallet," and she has a Nano X, they could do it. They'd have to wait until Jenny hooked it to the internet, but they could do it. They've stated that they can do it. The only wallet that I know of that they can't do it on is the LEPAL Titan, because it doesn't hook to the internet in any way, shape, or form. So I think you're very safe on that Ledger. I think they've got good security there. One thing that we always got to remember when we're buying these wallets off of the internet, we want to buy it straight from the factory. Don't buy them on Amazon. Don't buy them on eBay. What happens is somebody will buy 10 wallets. Let's just say they buy 10 Ledger or 10 LEPALs or whatever they buy. They're extremely good at it. They buy the wallets, they unwrap them, they put all of their codes in, which you can't see. They wrap it back up. Looks just like factory wrapped LEPALs or Titans or whatever you're getting, and they send it to you. They put it on a discount on Amazon or eBay, and you think you're getting a great deal. Well, about 2 months after you own it, and you finally got comfortable enough to put your coins on it, one day you wake up and they're gone. Somebody has put their codes into it and stolen all your crypto. So if you're going to do that, buy direct from the factory.
Thank you. Wow, that's great information, Troy. Thank you so much. Okay, here's another one from Frankly Speaking. Again, XRP. Question, XRP, F-Chain, is there any, okay, F-Chain, is there any issues with this? Also, with the acquisition of Hidden, why did the XRP value go down?
Well, I think he's referring to the F-Chain on Lobster Wallet. And I'm not a fan of the Lobster Wallet at all. When you buy XRP on the Lobster Wallet, it's really a staked version of, they're buying it off of the Lobster Wallet. It's not on the Lobster Wallet. So also when you type in XRP on the Lobster Wallet, there's page after page after page of different XRPs you could buy. So the chances of you getting the right one are probably slim to none. But like I said, I'm not a fan of the Lobster Wallet. I've lost money on the Lobster Wallet. Somebody stole all my coins on there. So I don't try to steer people to the Lobster Wallet. I think it's probably maybe a decent wallet, but there's a lot of scam coins over there. You have to be very, very careful of what you're buying on the Lobster Wallet, because what people don't understand is there's no cop there. Anybody can put coins on the Lobster Wallet. I can do it if I wanted to. So there's been a lot of money lost on the Lobster Wallet, so be very careful with that. So what was the second question, Jenny?
Says, okay, also with the acquisition of Hidden, why did the XRP value go down?
Well, I don't really know that, but every time, like I said, when we get good news, it always seems to drop the price of XRP. We got Judge Torres's ruling, it went up and then it dropped. Every time, like I said, every time we get good news, it drops. I think right now it's been heavily manipulated. They're shorting the hell out of it. So I think eventually that's all going to stop when Paul Atkins gets nominated for the SEC, head of SEC. We'll see. Hopefully that answers his question.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and the last one here, Gina G is, I just bought Flare not too long ago, several months ago, and I have had drops every month. Oh, well, I guess that's just a statement. So, Gina, is there more to your question here? What is your question? I just bought Flare not too long ago, several months ago, and I have had drops every month. Okay, so she's just basically confirming that she has had Flare, she purchased Flare, and she's had those drops that Troy, you're speaking on.
Right. And you know what happened there was when Flare was going to be dropped, they said they were going to put 100% into your account. Well, they did. They didn't. They decided to only put 15% into your account, and then along the way, every month they distribute, I think, 3.5% of your total Flare. And the reasoning behind that was so that people wouldn't sell their Flare. They wanted to get all of their rewards. When you sell Flare, all of your rewards go with those sales. So if I sold my Flare to Jenny, Jenny now gets all the rewards of that token. So over the course of 3 years, Jenny's going to get those drops, not me. So that makes it a little bit more valuable, and it helps people hold on to their Flare rather than just sell it.
Thank you, Troy. And I don't see any more hands, nor do I see any questions. How you doing on time, Troy? I know you said an hour, so we're a little bit over that. You good? Or you I mean, we don't have any questions, so you want to come back here in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we can come back in 2 weeks. The other thing I wanted to say on Uphold, another good aspect of Uphold, if you hold your Flare on Uphold, they distribute that every month. If you hold your Flare on Coinbase, they don't, because you have to delegate it and wrap it yourself. Uphold automatically does that for you. You don't have to worry about doing any of that. Uphold does it, and they drop the coins right into your account.
Thank you, Troy. Oh, I have one hand here. Brenda Sue, can you take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Brenda Sue, I'm going to unmute your mic. You can go ahead and ask Troy your question. Go ahead, Brenda.
Okay. How do you sell your XRP when you get ready to sell it?
You just go back on Uphold and do the reverse. Say you wanted to put your XRP into your bank account. When you go to source, if you own XRP over there, you just go down to your XRP account, hit XRP that you want to get out of that. You go back over to destination, click on it. You'll go down and hit your bank account, and then you'll hit send, and it'll send your XR or your dollars for your XRP back into your bank account. It used to take about 5 or 6. It used to take about 5 or 6 days because they use the SWIFT system to move that money. Currently, if you have a lightning bolt by your account, which says that you're using FedNow, that can happen in 3 seconds. I think what FedNow is doing is using XRP, so it's instant if you have a lightning bolt next to your bank account.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Troy is here every 2 weeks, so come back and visit us for Troy. Also, too, for those of you that are asking me regarding Gene Ho, the podcast, we will be, we'll get that out to you as soon as we know. He's really busy right now, so I think he's going to come on my show. I'm going to go on their show, so we'll figure that out, and I'll let you know. Also, to everybody, come back at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for John Baxter with Anti-Aging MedBed. And then we have SG and on, everybody. He's back. He will be 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then Silk over on my X Space at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Troy, God bless you, sweetie. I hope you feel better.
Well, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2 weeks. God bless everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you here back for the other shows. God bless everybody.